Now it's time for the recurve men's team medal matches, and we're starting as always with the bronze medal match. Two big teams again in the lineup. Spain will take on Russia, with neither of these teams as yet qualified for the Olympic Games. Let's go down for the team introductions.
On target number 1, representing Spain, Pablo Alcha, Miguel Alvarino Garcia, Daniel Castro. On target number 2, representing the Russian Federation, Kalsan Azazapov, Alda Sidichapov, Elikto Singuyev. The line judge of this match is Katerina Goncharova. And shooting first will be the Russian Federation on target number 2.
Russia, you go first. Okay.
Well, here we go. Russia versus Spain for the European bronze medal. Russia lining up with Aldar Tispigzapov, Gazlan Bazazapov, and Belgito Singuyev. Tough names to get your lips around there, Nikki. But on the other side, we've got Spain, who line up with Pablo Acha, Miguel Alvarino Garcia, and Daniel Castro. It will be Russia shooting first. Great start.
9.
The 27-year-old Belgito Singuyev gets off with a 9, and it's matched with a 9 from Tispigzapov, who is 25 and the world number 92. And this is the big man, Gazlan Bazazapov, the leading light, world number 12. Good start from the Russians, Nikki. 3 9s in these conditions is brilliant shooting, especially given those are the first 3 arrows.
Yeah, they've settled right in straight away, haven't they? Right into the gold, exactly where they need to be.
Well, that's a 10 there for Castro, shooting second. He's the world number 16, the highest ranked of the archers. But this is the star man of the moment, Pablo Acha. Curse of the commentator, as always. 7-star for a measure there from Acha. Now, reason that he's the star player is?
He won the Olympic spot, I believe, for Spain. They've got one quota spot so far.
Yeah, he was the man that got the quota spot. Well, the question is, the Spanish team haven't yet qualified, but nor have Russia, and that has got to be the biggest surprise of the lot.
Yeah, no spots at all for them so far, so they'll definitely be looking to, do well here and take that into Paris in 2 weeks' time.
Well, very solid performance here so far from the Russians. Nothing outside the 9, and potentially Singuyev's first arrow of this second set into the 10. That one definitely into the 10, and that is some brilliant shooting from the Russians. Marina Garcia into the 9. Now they need that 7 to be marked up to an 8 and 2 10s to finish off to claim the set points here. Castro into the 10, and of course that is subject to that measure staying as a 9 for Russia as well.
On the board,
So 54 provisionally for Spain, could get marked up to a 55, but a 55 for Russia, and that could get marked up to a 56. Any thoughts?
Really difficult to call, isn't it? I think we're going to have to wait for the line judges on those ones because they're just so tricky to see. The line judge got magnifying glass so they can get in there, really have a good look both sides of the arrow. If they feel that has cut the line in any way, it'll be the highest score.
Got to say, from the body language on both sides of the shooting line, Russia seem pretty confident that they've got this one. Solid start from them, and already you see the unity amongst the team. And you've got to be thinking that with Russia, without any men qualified for the Olympic Games so far, this is the team that they're going to be putting into the qualifier in Paris in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, you would think so. At this stage, most countries have made their selections and they're using these tournaments as practices, really, I guess, for the main event where they can get that last team qualification spot in Paris.
We better practice pronouncing their names then, haven't we? Well, they've already confirmed the scores down at the target end. I'm seeing a 1 on target number 1. And it looks like we've had a markup for the Spanish team of their 7, 2 and 8, and the Russians' 9 has remained at 9, so 55 apiece in set number 1, 1 set all. So despite what looked like a very promising start from the Russian team, the Spaniards have been able to stay in this one.
Yeah, Russia came off the line, didn't they? You know, they're joyous, but they've had to split the points.
So all square after 1, we go into the second set, and it's Beligito Singuev who is going to shoot first for the Russians.
Nine. Nine.
Really looking solid here, aren't they? They've just got to convert these 9s into 10. You know, that 1 point an arrow could be costly.
9. 27.
Called as a 9. No shout this time of an 8 with a measure on. They're very confident that's clipped the line. It is a little bit easier to see them when they're lower in the target, aren't they? When they're high and there are other arrows in the target, it makes it very difficult to see those lines.
10.
Well, as you predicted, Nikki, just dropping a single point each time does open the door. And Spain capitalising here. Clip the line as well, and so that is marked as a 9. So the halfway stage, a 2-point lead for Spain, really putting down a big marker here as the Russians step up for their second 3 arrows. Got a bit of spirit in that Russian team. They're having fun out there.
Yeah, it's good to hear, isn't it, that communication when they do get a 10. You know, there's a real good atmosphere between them.
Look how close that one is. It might be a 9. It is. It's not even going to go for a measure. Oh, that's close as well. It's marked as a 9, but I fancy they're going to have a look at that one. 55 again for the Russians. There is an opportunity here for the Spanish team. Alvarino Garcia shooting first. Nikki, we don't like to talk over the archers shooting, but I have got to ask you, we've got a situation here where the highest ranked member of the team is going in the middle, Castro. There is one place available at the moment. They've won one quota place for the men, and that was won by Acha, who's anchoring the team. Who's going to get that spot if they don't qualify as a team?
I don't know. They might have done their selection already. That might already be done and dusted. But you know, a couple of this team are really showing their worth individually through this year as well. So Castro making the final, Pablo Acha obviously shooting incredibly well, and Garcia too. I mean, they're 3 fantastic individuals.
Well, now they need a 10 to share the set points after that 7 from Castro. They've got a 9, and where they had a big chance to take a 3-1 lead, that one single arrow from Daniel Castro into the 7 means that it's Russia who capitalise in the second set to strike 3 set points to 1 up. If they've made the decision already, would you bet that they've already announced Castro, or would they have said whoever wins the quota spot is going to get the place?
Really difficult one. Every country's different, I guess, but most countries, if you win the quota spot not in the Olympic year itself, then it is always a spot for the country. But if it's not in the year itself, it's usually then fought out by that country at the beginning of an Olympic year to see who is most on form. But at these late stages now, most countries, if you're winning an individual spot or team, it's down to the people who are out there. You had your selection for that country's team for the year, but then if you go out and win a spot in the couple of months leading up to the games, it's usually for that person who won the spot.
So your bet is that Acha is going to be the single Spanish male archer in Tokyo if they don't qualify our team in Paris?
Yeah, I would probably think that way. Obviously, it's up to Spain and how.
Yeah, yeah. It's a bit of guesswork, of course, but you know, you have to say that on current form, that would be the right call.
Yeah, I mean, he's shooting incredibly well. So they've just got some great archers. It would be a huge loss if Spain didn't upgrade that whole team to be there in Tokyo, because they're just incredible, aren't they, the 3 of them?
Yeah, they certainly are, but it would be a big surprise if Russia didn't qualify as well. And the measures happened here. We're waiting for confirmation. We suspect it will remain the same, and Russia will have that 3-1 lead. But we have been wrong in the past, so we will wait for the target judge to confirm it.
So it's even a 56-54 2-point lead for the Russian
Well, it was an upgrade for the Russians. It was that arrow that we thought might go to a measure, and it goes from a 1-point win in that set to a 2-point win for Russia, and crucially going into the 3rd set, Russia lead by 3 set points to 1. Another win for them in the 3rd set.
That's what they need. 5 points is enough to win it. Best of 4 sets. So if they can cleanly win this, then they will get it.
Well, here we go for set number 3, and it is Alvarino Garcia, a 27-year-old world number 31, who is going to start the fight back for the Spaniards.
9.
Venga, Dani, tiramos a darle sin miedo, Vamos, campeón. Llego bien hasta el holding. Vamos aquí. Eso es, y bien, Un poquito más hacia ahí. Buena.
Incredibly long hold, but being started again looked like it could be a 10.
8.
All over to the left there, Nikki.
Yeah, the conditions they look pretty still. The flags are pretty still right now.
Still, when you see the 9s and the 8s, you see an opportunity for the opposing team. Can Singyev start a rally from the Russians? It is an 8 from him. His lowest arrow score so far for the Russian team. Zapov going into the 9, and really we need to see Bazazapov, 26-year-old world number 12, pop this into the 10 to make a contest of this third set. And he's drifted out to the right, so they've looked solid earlier on through the first 2 sets, and now, well, even though Spain have been in 9s and 8s, they're all positioned quite closely together, and they would have had a chat, and we're going to see these arrows go right and up a tiny bit, I think. I say that quite glibly, but actually, you mentioned it earlier on, the tiniest of changes down at this end, down at the shooting end, makes a big difference. At that end, we're talking about a margin of, a centimetre at the target face? How much difference does that make? Is it 1 click of the sight, or?
Yeah, it's tiny. These sights are so specific now, they're about 20 clicks is a whole turn of the sight. Making minor adjustments.
Well, look at that. They've done really just about enough to put some pressure on. The second arrow from Spain also could get marked up, so they could potentially be on 56. Let's stick with 55 at the moment. It means Russia needs 3 10s to draw level. There's the first one. What to say, after the spread of the first 3 arrows, it will be a remarkable set of 3 10s if Russia were to score it. Oh, 2 out of 3. Into the 9. So that means we are all tied at 3 set points apiece. There will be a measure there, of course, on that second arrow for Spain, but it matters not in terms of the set points. We are all square after 3 sets, both teams level at 3 apiece. I don't think you can call this one yet, can you?
It is really tricky. I think I've got a little hunch on Russia. I think their momentum as a team is a little bit higher. I just have a feeling, I don't know, that they might pull it out the bag here. But Spain, as we've talked about, such a strong team, and yeah, it really could go either way.
Certainly could. Take a look back at the Russians. I mean, yes, I tend to agree with you. They seem to be slightly more compact as a unit. I think they are putting together, but we're seeing signs of from Spain as well that their performance is steadily improving. So I mean, it's all open as we go into the 4th here.
We've seen Spain, haven't we, in both World Cup finals so far. They won gold in Guatemala, they lost to Germany in Lausanne to take the silver. I mean, they're an amazing team this year.
Yeah, definitely a good unit. But it is 3 apiece, and they are with Russia. You always expect on the field of play the Russians to put in a gritty performance right the way through a competition. They will definitely be in the fight here. Of course, all square after 4, and we will have a shoot-off for the European bronze medal. 6 more arrows from both teams to find out how this one will play out. Russia stepping up to the line. Velikto Singyev, 2 more arrows for him and the rest of his Russian teammates in this European bronze medal playoff.
8. Nine.
Michael, tíralo al medio, sin miedo. Vale. Porque viene delante el viento un poco y está como un poco izquierdo, un poco derecha, pero si las tiráis bien van por el medio. Acordaros cuando vais tirando a 10. La última serie, ¿eh?
Slowly getting better, so signs of communication between the teams there. It's interesting that Singuef has just dropped off a little bit from his form earlier on. Miguel Alvarino Garcia to start Spain's 4th set, and he's drifted out into the 7. Needs his teammates here to pull this one back. They'll need 2 10s to be on par with Russia. First up, well, number 16, Daniel Castro.
Ten.
Looks like he's finding some form as well. He shot 7s in this bronze medal playoff. This is the man of the moment for Spain. Archer does his job as well. They recover well from that 7 to draw level with Russia.
They did exactly what you asked, and they really did need it. Like, it's crucial in this last set. Everything is absolutely tied up.
Yeah, opportunity though, going first for big scores to be put down by the Russian team.
9.
Mismo objetivo, mismo trabajo, ¿eh, chicos?
Clinging on to the 9 there. Tibik Zapov handing over to Gazlan Bazazapov.
Chicos, el margen del marcador, me la suda lo que pase, me la suda como vaya el marcador, vuestro trabajo, lo que tenéis que hacer, ¿eh?
9.
So 3 9s to finish at 54 is a gettable target for Spain. Alvarino Garcia shot a 7 with his last arrow. Let's see what he can do with the final one of this set.
That's exactly what his team needed. He didn't want to put the pressure on these 2 guys again. He needed to get the points on the board, and he has. It's made it a little bit easier for them.
Archer helping his teammate Castro, popped it into the 8. So there's still an opportunity to win here. Pablo Archer has been the man of the moment for Spain. He's taking a bit of a deep breath here, a bit more than normal. He needs a 10 to get the European bronze. He's put it in the 9. Now it's not all over, because that 8 from Castro, his second arrow, is subject to a measure. Nikki, it's all square, so 4 set points apiece at the moment. It's going to mean a shoot-off. If that 8 gets upgraded, Spain have taken this bronze medal. Is it an 8 or is it a 9?
Too close to call. I just couldn't call it from here. We're going to have to wait for the line judge on that one as well.
Yeah, my gut instinct said it was an 8 when it went into the target. I was surprised to see the mark there for the measure. But we look back on some of these shots. We really want to be looking at the target. He saw the Spaniards getting pumped up for this final set. Have they done enough to get this bronze medal?
We will go into the shoot-off.
Well, I think you heard it the same as we did. It's all square. There was no markup. So 4 set points apiece after the 4 regulation sets. They're going to clean the target faces. We're going to have a brand new target face on each side of the shooting line. 1 arrow each, a kind of a mini set here. 1 arrow from each archer for this bronze medal. I'm glad it's come down to this. I mean, you fancied Russia for it, but I think, as you've said as well, the Spaniards have been performing so well this season after the break that we were all under. It's kind of fitting it's come down to a shoot-off.
Yeah, two really great teams, just absolutely nail-biting, nothing between them, all down to a shoot-off, 1 arrow each archer. If they do get the same score on this end, then it will go to the closest arrow to the middle.
I'm sensing a bit of tension there on the Russian side. If anything, I think the Spaniards have pumped themselves up for this. It's almost felt like they've had to be fighting back all the way through. As you get a look at the windsocks going in the same direction there, that's why we're seeing them. I think the director said, "Oh, look, the windsocks for the first time this week are blowing in the same direction. Let's get a shot of that." But the Spaniards seem to... the energy is just a little bit higher, I think, than the Russians.
Yeah, Russia had a big, let's go as well. So I think they've both got it in them. We've seen some big high fives after some 10s from them too. So this is going to be really exciting.
Here we go. The range is declared safe for shooting. This for the bronze medal in the recurve men's team event. Russia versus Spain. That's a great start. I said the energy looked higher on the Spanish side of the shooting line, but that roar shows you how much this means to the Russians. Alternating to bring us even more tension, we switch over to the Spaniards and Miguel Alvarino Garcia. Just brilliant, and if anything, slightly better.
Yeah, it hit the X ring, didn't it? That little ring inside the 10, so a closer one.
Important if we are all tied. That's why we mentioned that one. Oh, look at the grouping as well here. Stunning stuff so far from both teams. Castro, he come into form in the late part of the bronze medal match in the regulation sets.
Look at his teammate looking at his clicker. He's talking him through it. Watch that clicker drop. He's just watching it and talking him through it. Keep moving, he's saying.
Oh, it was an awfully long hold now. The chance for Russia to take this in 3. Brilliant. Talking through, watching that. I was on the edge of my seat there, Nikki. But here, the Russians could put this to bed. It's Bazazapov, the world number 12. If he puts this in the 10, Russia are the bronze medalists. Oh, it's brilliant shooting from the Russians. You called it at the beginning of the match. The Russians looking so strong here, and what a shoot-off performance. Bazazapov there getting it over the line, but Singuev and Sibik-Zapov also putting it into the 10 as well. A brilliant performance from them. Spain did shoot their final arrow, but unfortunately it wasn't ever going to be enough, and the Russians are the bronze medalists here in Antalya.
They are the bronze medalists at today's European
Superb performance, and look how happy the Russian women's team are.
Yeah, what a great shoot off to shoot a 30 under that pressure to take the bronze medal. You know, being on or off the podium is a big thing, and wow, they brought the energy.
They surely did. It was superb stuff, and the Spaniards finishing with an 8 in that shoot-off in the end. It wasn't going to be enough even if it was a 10, but 10-10-10 from these 3 Russians, and they are the bronze medalists at the European Championships of 2021.